Okay, so it is a beautiful time to be back on Fat Corner Sports and Entertainment again. And of course, so many things have been happening recently. And of course, we have been following the trend as it has been happening. And of course, we do the best always to give you the best when it comes to getting you informed, educated, and of course, entertained. So it's 3-in-1 for you. And I am Samuel Adebayo Abodurin. So welcome to Fat Corner Sports and Entertainment once again. So thank you for joining us. Today we are going to be talking about something very, very serious, very, very important. Back in January, this January, on the 12th of January, something serious happened, and a lot of comments came up, and a lot of people have been talking about this incident, and that was the incident involving a skitmaker, a popular skitmaker, talking about the general who was arrested by the members of NDLEA, that is National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. So he was arrested, and this arrest came up at a time when this guy, had a live video, connecting the situation to the people. So a lot of people saw the arrest, the mode of arrest, the time of arrest, how everything happened, and it was so kind of controversial. A lot of people were talking about this, and of course, to talk about this type of situation, we need people who have legal backings. Legal knowledge to give us what the position of law, states about this whole situation. After the arrest, coming down to the judge, the comments, the judgment from the court. So it was just a massive all of events coming up together. So today on the show, I've got a legal practitioner who can actually help us, answer some questions and give us insights about some things that are unknown to us. And that is why on the show today, I have with me Ifedapo Ajayi. So Ifedapo Ajayi, yes, is on the show with me today. He's a graduate of Adekunle Ajayi University, a law graduate, LLB and BL in view. And he's the SY General Manager of Akungba Law Clinic. And as well, he's an associate of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators in the United Kingdom with keen interest in human rights activities. And of course, he has written so many books as well. Yeah, he's a writer, he's an author. One of his books is Persons with Disabilities, the rights and elderly rights as well. So he has written about 3, 4, 5 books that I personally have seen. And of course, he's a volunteer with JCI, and as well, he has volunteered for so many, humanitarian groups and bodies, both within and outside Nigeria. So today on the show, I bid you welcome, Ifedapo Ajayi. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ifedayo.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Impact. I really appreciate the introduction, and it's an honor to be here this afternoon to actually talk about a situation that has raised a lot of legal arguments.
Of course.
Different people have shared their opinions. People that are not legal persons would not understand the legal aspect of it. So a lot of people have actually shared their opinions. And there's something about law. It's not really about emotions. You get something that is a legal perspective. You might not agree with it, but that is a legal position. You get. So a lot of people have raised their opinion about it, and it's actually an honor to be here this morning to actually give a legal perspective to this issue. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. So I'm very happy and I'm glad to have you around, join us on the show. So let's go straight to business because of our time. The arrests coming up January 12th and the whole situation surrounding the arrests. Now, from the legal perspective, talking about the story given by NDLEA for the arrest, having to say that they tracked somebody down to that residence, and at the time they came into somebody's private property. What is the legal standard for this kind of situation? Was it proper? Was it legally correct for NDLEA to have just come into someone's residence at that dark time of the night and start such arrest?
Okay, the legal position is that an arrest can be effected anytime.
Okay.
Yes, the Archbishop of Criminal Justice Law of Lagos State in Section 27, Section 1, provides that an arrest can be effected anytime. Where there is a warrant of arrest, you can make the arrest anytime. You get. And the arrest can be effected in any place except in the court. So that means that
Okay.
even if you are in a religious institution, probably a church or
Settings, a church, yeah,
a
mosque.
mosque, it will they can definitely effect an arrest there. Except that's in section 43 of
Okay.
section 2 of ACJ of Lagos State. Now,
Okay.
as regards, I watched the video and there are some things I actually saw which I saw at the end of the search.
Yeah.
The person that was actually overseeing that search, that officer was they wanted to search the apartment as well. Now, the legal position there is that a search can be conducted. Generally, a search can be conducted anytime in an apartment in Nigeria.
Okay.
The Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 provides for that. Now, there's a peculiarity in Lagos, which I would like to point out on this platform.
All right. Okay.
To search a person's apartment in Lagos, it has to be between the hours of 5 a.m. to 8 p.m.
So the that means there's a time.
Do you get? So there's an issue of time that has been raised there. If it's between 5 a.m. and 5 a.m. and 8 p.m., that's in section 108 of Administrative Criminal Justice Law of Lagos State. Now, to that, there's still an exception. The exception is that if the court permits, so whereby the court permits that the search should be conducted anytime, they can proceed with the court. So where the warrant with them says that they can proceed with the search anytime, definitely they can go ahead with the
search operation.
Yes, and also from the video I actually saw, I could see that the officer coordinating the search was trying to use all means possible to make it civil, but it's just quite unfortunate things had to turn out the way it did. So that's just that.
Okay, now you made mention of the leader of the team trying to be peaceful, but whereas the situation at a point turned kind of chaotic and a kind of abuse was cited in that live video, and that was the point where the live video went off. Now, is there any part of the law that gives the government agencies the right to resort to violence in the search operation or in arrests of any alleged person?
Okay. Yes, thank you very much for that question. Yes, the reason why I'm actually talking about the Administration of Criminal Justice of Lagos State is because the event happened in Lagos.
In Lagos, yeah.
That's why I'm being clear about it. Now, according to the law, where a person wants to effect an arrest, the moment the person tells you that you are under arrest, an arrest has taken effect.
Place. Okay.
Now, but the law proceeds to state that there can still be a reasonable force in certain circumstances.
Okay.
Take, for instance, if a person decides to be obstinate or is trying to
prove stubborn,
definitely the officer can decide to use reasonable force. Now, reasonable force is quite subjective, because what is reasonable to someone might not be reasonable to another person.
Reasonable to another person. Okay.
Yeah. So when it comes to reasonability, we all have different definitions for it. But the law provides that reasonable force can be used to effect an arrest.
Okay.
Also, for the safety of the person, the suspect, they can decide to use reasonable force, thereby putting the person in handcuffs or that. But an arrest is effected the moment the officer tells you that you are under arrest.
Okay. Now, coming back to the search operation, the team came not with the intention, according to their own story on their website and, of course, on their social media accounts, not because they wanted to arrest the general in person. You understand? They came because they said they, burgled. They what's it called? They raid a site where drug was being, exchanged and all, and somebody ran from that spot, and they could trace the person down to that area, meaning that they were in search of the person who ran, not, the general himself. So now I think that was why the guy was trying to refuse the search operation at a time. And I think he was trying to say that, okay, everything they are going to be doing was to go live. And another lady from background was telling her to put down the camera and all. So that angle, okay, let's leave that angle, because it is kind of subjective, because we can't actually, get one of the operatives claimed to be allowing the guy to video, while the other was saying that he should put down his camera and all. I think it even led to a kind of reaction from the team leader, yes, who asked the other officer to keep quiet and just follow the instructions. So now coming down to the story given by NDLEA, the statement confirming the arrest of the general, because at that time it was a public story already. Everybody, had access to the video live. It was a live video, so about thousands of people joined and comments were coming in. So they had to just make it kind of official straight up on their Instagram account. After a couple of hours, they indicated and stated why they arrested the general. Now, in their statements, they referred to the raid at Orchid Estate and of course the escape. They claimed they arrested 3 persons, then somebody escaped, and that person was traced down to that location and all. Now, to you, after the whole scenario, after the arrest of the general, then coming down to parading the general on their accounts, which they eventually brought alongside the statements confirming the arrest. They paraded in with a cardboard displaying his crime, his name, his address, and all. Now, looking at their story, do you think the story is kind of consistent with what we actually saw from the live video?
Okay. Thank you very much. I can you hear me, please? Just to confirm that you are following.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, yes. As regards the story from the NDLEA and the way things actually evolve, I would say that he who asserts must prove. Now, if somebody says that you've done something, you have the opportunity to say otherwise, that this is not the position of things.
Okay.
But from when I read the
statements,
the court, of what happened in the court, they admitted. So admission can be regarded as valid, because there was no should I say statement or stating otherwise of what happened.
Okay.
So if we are saying that the story of NDLEA is incorrect, as in incorrect in court,
okay,
why was it admitted in court? Why did they admit to the allegations before then
leveled against them?
So the thing is that when NDLEA, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, they have their own law, that the act that guides.
Okay, yes, the act that guides them, yeah.
Yes, and according to Section 3 of the NDLEA Act, it provides for the functions of the agency. And the agency are to actually see to the addiction of drugs and to curb the use of narcotic drugs and several drugs like that. So if they actually have a reasonable suspicion that there is an illegal activity going on in a particular place, they can decide to go there and to conduct a search there. Okay. Now, I'm actually driving somewhere. Okay. Yeah. So now, if they actually conducted that search, and then they wrote a charge against General, and then it was presented in court, it would have been a different scenario if they actually pleaded not guilty. But they pleading guilty to the allegations proves that there's no inconsistency in the story. Okay. I hope I was able to actually.
I think I'm clear on that now. So the story and the admission of the general just made everything a straight line, and there was no breakage in between the story. And now talking about the acts guiding NDLEA and their mode of operations and their center of, their focus when it comes to how they operate. Now they deal with drugs, narcotics, and substance abuse and all of those things now. But we've seen recently, not even recently, for a very long time on social media, most of these big artists talk about Naira Marley, talk about Davido, talk about Wizkid. We see them in video, either in musical videos or even in personal videos they post on their social media page. And we saw them, holding what's it called, either marijuana or some of these substances, and they are using it. So why is it that NDLEA are yet to just go after this set of people?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was expecting that question, and the thing is that the question has I want to answer from two different perspectives. Now, the first one is that sometimes law regulates conduct.
Okay.
But law doesn't really regulate the conduct of everybody. Now, let me clarify that statement.
Okay.
There's a law that states that every car must be registered.
Yeah.
There's a law in Nigeria that says that, but not all cars are registered. Now, the reason why it becomes an offense is the moment you are being caught that fine, your car is not registered, and this is an offense, and this is the punishment for that offense. But in a situation whereby you are not caught, it becomes something that you do. So according to sociological school, you get sometimes some conducts are just taken that way because that's just the way the society, that's the angle the society has been tilting towards.
Okay.
You understand? Now, also on the issue of also I want to say that if you want to argue that so person is smoking, you have to prove it.
Okay.
So it is until the day that the likes of Davido, Wizkid, like you mentioned, are being caught. The law is like, should I say, a person that sits somewhere and is waiting for you to just enter into it. So the moment they actually have the allegations against them, the moment they go there and they are being caught, it becomes an offense. You understand?
Okay.
And also, I actually want to argue the issue of territory.
Okay.
Sometimes we've seen online that they might be spoken in areas like maybe Angola, in countries like Kenya, in countries like Tanzania. Nigeria cannot say that you can't say you want to go and arrest them there because the law is restricted to a particular territory.
Wow.
You understand?
That's another angle.
Yes, that's another angle entirely. So you cannot actually say you want to go after them. Bearing in mind what you are seeing is on Instagram, and you don't actually know their precise location at that moment.
Okay.
So that's just it. So if they are in Nigeria and the NDLEA sees them with any narcotic drugs, they are definitely liable for an offense.
Okay. All right. Thank you for shedding light on that. Now this let me just try to just bring the questions together so that we can just wrap up because of our time. Now, talking about the court judgment now, the particular statement of having to convict somebody but not sentence. So what does this mean? What is the meaning of convicting but not, convicted but not sentenced?
Okay, thank you very much. Section 11 of the NDLEA Act provides that where a person without lawful authority has narcotic drugs with them, the person is liable for an offense not less than is liable for an offense, and the punishment is sentence not less than 15 years.
Imagine.
And not exceeding 25 years. So when the court now decides to convict but not sentence, that is quite let me say let me use the word of people that are
controversial.
Let me say controversial. But people that are not abreast with law don't understand some things, which I actually feel it's pertinent to actually explain. Now, the Administration of Criminal Justice Act provides for non-custodial sentence.
Okay, non-custodial sentence. Okay.
Yes. This is because they have looked around, they're like, fine, how do we decongest our prisons? Our prisons are full. This person steals a biro, you say that what? sentenced him to prison. This person decides to steals someone's car, a content in court, prison, content as a court, prison. The prison is full.
Okay.
So they actually thought about it, and that was the brain behind non-custodial offenses. So they can, so that's the position where you see people going to do community service,
okay,
being under house arrest. These are non-custodial sentences. He has been convicted by the court, of which, if in my own perspective, I still find it difficult. That part is quite let me say funny, because I want to give due respect to the court and I respect the decision of the court. But that
because you're a lawyer.
but that part is quite I won't want to certainly say anything, but I don't know. Shady. Let me use that word, because the offense is prescribed. The punishment for that offense is actually clear.
Stated
in the NDLEA Act that where a person does this, the person should be sentenced to not less than 15 years. And not exceeding 25 years. So, situation whereby we now have conviction without sentence. The idea behind conviction without sentencing is not custodial sentences. I hope I was able to actually.
Yeah, I'm clear on that.
So yes, so that's just basically just that in my own opinion, I actually feel they should be convicted. They should be sentenced.
Okay. Well, I would love to take your own perspective too, because I actually own the same opinion too, because I felt, because I wanted to ask that the law guiding being in possession of narcotics, the consumption and the usage of, the trading of all of these substances now, because I know there are actually provisions of the law that stipulates or regulates how people who are caught in such acts should be punished. But because of our time, I think we would come up with a kind of a kind of cover to that, so that we can actually go deep into drug abuse and the law perspective of it. So I want to just appreciate you for coming on the show this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Since these are my final words, I actually want to appreciate once again, and I wanted to bring out the aspect of privacy, like fundamental rights, and because everybody have the right to their privacy in their own private homes, and that was not really actually as much as you have the privacy, there are still laws that regulate those aspects.
Exceptions.
Yeah, there are exceptions to it, and you have your personal liberty in that section 35 of the Constitution. Yeah, and also dignity of human person. You don't actually have to resort to torture. You don't have to resort to abuse of anybody.
Violence.
You have fundamental rights. And that's to be observed. And I actually feel that you just have to pay attention to these rights when you want to effect an arrest and also want to conduct a search in someone's premises. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate the opportunity to come to your show. It's actually great. Let me say show, but I actually feel that this is a big thing. And I really appreciate I appreciate the brain behind this, and I appreciate the for being invited to this platform. I thank you very much, and I pray God bless.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. So guys, I want to charge you, as you out there, please try to stay away from drugs. It is very, very important, because you can hear the punishment for that. 15 years in jail. I beg, just try to abstain from drug abuse. Drug in all aspects, either by selling it or by using it or by trading it for any reason. Please stay away from drugs. And also, we want to charge our government agencies to be diligent with their work, be consistent with their work. Once they want to do it, let them do it right. And of course, the arm upholding justice should also step up again in ensuring that proper judgments are being delivered, and people would fear that once you do this is what you get. So guys, this is it, and this is a wrap on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and all our social media pages. Thank you once again for joining. I am Samuel Adebayo Abodrin, and this is Fat Corner Sport and Entertainment signing out. Have a blissful day.